What is up, everybody? This is Atticus, the Death Metaller, and welcome to another longly awaited episode of the Death Metaller Reviews. Here in this episode, we are going to be reviewing Kreator's recent new album, Gods of Violence. But before we go on to the review, as with every The Death Metaller Reviews episode, let's get down to a little brief history on Kreator. Now, shall we? We all remember that fateful day on June 12, 1987, when President Ronald Reagan made his visit in Berlin, Germany, and said these powerful words.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
These words, amongst many other factors, tore down the infamous Berlin Wall in November 1989. It struck a tremendous blow to the USSR, which then died on December 26, 1991. Prior to the walls collapsing, East and West Germany finally became a united Germany once more. Family and friends that were separated for over 30 years under totalitarian rule were finally reunited. It gave many opportunities for German metal bands to expand their craft and work freely without being under the threat of being shot down or arrested for making such blasphemous music under communist rule. One of those bands being Kreator. Kreator was formed in 1982 in Essen, Germany, which is a part of Western Germany. Though they were not of the eastern part of Germany, their lyrics did revolve around the very many struggles that their fellow Germans had to go through. Keep in mind, Germany at that time was heavily divided by capitalist West and communist East, and there was indeed a lot of political turmoil during those times in the 80s in Europe. You had the years of lead in Italy, where communist and fascist terrorist groups wreaked havoc across Italy, where innocents were assassinated and bombed by these two groups plotting against each other that lasted from the 1960s till the early 1980s. In Poland, you had Father Jerzy Pawliuszko lead a movement of solidarity against the communist regime in Poland, which was under heavy martial law. He kept the peaceful movement afloat up until his assassination by the Security Service of the Ministry of Internal Affairs in 1984. 1984 much. But aside from all that, the type of heavy far-left, far-right-wing political environment across Europe deeply inspired a good chunk of Kreator's lyrics, bringing forth such iconic songs by them such as Riot of Violence, Violent Revolution, Extreme Aggression, People of the Lie, Hidden Dictator, Mental Slavery, Ghetto War, Civilization Collapse, and among very many other songs. Of course, there are some thrash bands that did talk about civil unrest, revolutions, rebellion, and war, but Kreator took things to an absolute new level. I always appreciated Kreator taking things to the utmost extreme, with their powerhouse drumming, bone-crunching riffs, and powerful lyrics of resistance, rebellion, and saying fuck you to a regime that takes away your human dignity day by day. Kreator's music will always resonate in the human psyche of having absolutely enough of a totalitarian regime. Sick and tired of being bootlicked by extreme authority and demands human freedom for tyranny. Kreator's music cries out to many people around the world, whether it is from the starving people demanding food in the communist collectivist regime of Venezuela, whether it's the Brits seceding from the decaying globalist sociality project of the EU, whether it is people demanding musical freedom from the clergy fascist regime of Iran, or even rising up against the evil, greedy, capitalist, misogynistic, Islamophobic, bourgeoisie administration of Donald J. Literally Hitler Trump. Whether you are from the left side or on the right side of politics, Kreator's music gives people the urge to rise up and say, we the people have had enough. And thus, we begin our review for Gods of Violence. Gods of Violence was produced by Jens Bogren, whom has known to have worked with such bands such as the very following: Amon Amarth, Dark Tranquillity, Devin Townsend, Catatonia, Moonspell, Opeth, and Soilwork. Gods of Violence, in my opinion, is probably one of their best work. Many thought Phantom Antichrist, their last release in 2012 was one of their best works they've ever brought out. Don't get me wrong, Phantom Antichrist was a pretty damn good release. Same with Hordes of Chaos. But I believe that Gods of Violence is probably their most iconic work yet to date. It says right here that Gods of Violence debuted at #1 at the German charts, making it Kreator's first #1 debut in their 32-year recording career, which really does stand out that Kreator really made a good quality thrash album probably of 2017, and we're not even like, we're midway into 2017 and already Kreator has done a lot of good reception from this album. And also Gods of Violence had a little bit of help from musicians Francesco Paoli and Francesco Ferrini from one of my all-time favorite metal bands, Flesh God Apocalypse. They added orchestral elements into the song. Pretty sure Kreator decided to collaborate these two musicians from Flesh God Apocalypse right there. Mainly because I think they've toured with them, or Mel Betrot's the main guy off of Gods of Violence, really did like how they did their stuff and say, hey, we want to collaborate with you guys on Gods of Violence. So they took it up on that offer, and there's a bunch of musical elements into the entire album, which I will get to later. Now that we have talked about stuff on Gods of Violence, let us talk about a few songs that really stood out to me off of Gods of Violence. The first song on the list is track 2 by name of World War Now. The song does speak for itself. Quite honestly, it is a pretty fast-paced, really intense. It doesn't go with the typical Kreator sounds. It goes on a different sound, unlike other Kreator songs that they have brought out. But it is a very intense, very brutal fighting type of song, but it really does resonate with the political environments going on. I mean, you have the EU crumbling, you have Islam steadily dominating Europe, you have ISIS doing their thing, and of course you have the SJWs, Antifa, fucking Donald Trump's administration going on. So it feels like that the world right now is in utter chaos, and it's a very fitting song. Though not right now that World War III is going on, but in a sense, with the political environment going on, it does feel like World War III in a sense, which hence is the song World War Now. The second song on our list is track 3, Satan Is Real. It's not one of their most fast-paced songs, but indeed it is one of my favorite songs off of this album. The song pretty much, many people look at the song saying, oh my god, Satan is real, they're promoting Satan. You're not getting the whole point off of this song. The song is stating, even though it, it says Satan is real around you, but it's also the band saying that there is evil all across the world, and you see evil almost everywhere, just like what Chuck Schuldiner said in an interview. But in a way, there are a lot of symbolism in regards to Satan, which, as I said, there is evil everywhere you come across, whether it is from Donald Trump's administration, whether you see it off of the people who worship Islam, whether it is Hillary Clinton, whether it is George Soros, or whether it is like any other totalitarian regime that goes around this world. There are evil people across in this world where it comes through every walks of life. And I think it resonates to this song. But the ending of the song, in my opinion, is the most badass. And of course, it is from the awesome work of Francesco Ferrini and Francesco Paoli of Flesh God Apocalypse that add these orchestral elements into this song. It is so awesome, and it is so kick-ass at the very end. Like, it's a good typical slow Kreator song, but the ending always gets me pumping, so have a listen. The next song on our list is Track 4, Totalitarian Terror. In my personal opinion, it is the most intense and my most favorite song off of this album. Totalitarian Terror, if you watch the music video off of this, derives its inspiration from Heinrich Himmler and of course the Anhörbe, or if I butchered the name right, the Anhörbe or whatever. The name Anhörbe means inheritance from the ancestors. The official mission of the Anhörbe was to find new evidence of racial heritage. However, due to Himmler's obsession, it quickly became its own occult tool and started using pseudoscience, as Kreator provided some background information before diving into the gory video, as innocent humans are brought to an underground lair for a variety of horrendous experiments, including surgery. So it does speak for itself if you watch the music video. But in my personal opinion, like when I listen to the song, especially at the very beginning where Mill does that intense yelling, it feels like I'm going Super Saiyan amongst a horde of like vast and enemy barbarians I'm going after, and it just makes me feel like I just want to like just fight one-man army against a horde of like barbarians and stuff. And it is such a badass song. It makes you want to fight. It makes you want to just fight to the last fucking breath with this song. And the solos off of this album, the solos, oh boy, it made me weep. It made me weep, and it also gave me a metal boner when I first listened to this track. Totalitarian Terror is an absolute force to be reckoned with. It is probably, in my opinion, one of the best songs Kreator has ever written and ever produced. The next song on our list is track 5, Gods of Violence, namesake song of the album. This was the first song off the album that I listened to. I saw the music video. Everyone knows the same reaction, the same opinions onto the music video. It was a really badass music video off of Gods of Violence. But how I feel about this song, the song really does talk about, bloodthirsty titans, gods, causing violence across the world. When I listen to the song, it feels like that I'm going on one-on-one battle against this one opponent. Like, for instance, if you're fighting a final boss in a video game, probably one of my most intense video game boss battles that I've ever done in my life was fighting Lucifer in Dante's Inferno. That's what I think about this song. That is what I think about with this song, or any other boss from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, because Jesus fucking Christ, those bosses are insane. Or just doing a multiplayer attrition battle on Titanfall 2. That's how I feel when I listen to Gods of Violence. Just an absolute one-on-one epic final clash against like evil or some shit. But yes, Gods of Violence is a pretty good song. And it almost in a way makes me think of the song Phantom Antichrist in a sense. But Phantom Antichrist was a different song with its different type of like speed. But Gods of Violence was pretty much way better than Phantom Antichrist in my opinion. The next song on our list is track number 7, Hail to the Horde. In my opinion, a very slow song. It's one of the slower songs off of Gods of Violence. But what it resonates to me is that comrades in battle, just partying out, just drinking tons of alcohol, wine, women, and song after a brutal battle on the previous day, and being victorious in battle, honoring the fallen. Basically, that's what I resonate with the song Hail to the Hordes. You party with your comrades that live to fight another day, and being victorious, and also honoring the fallen and shit like that. So make it while it lasts. The final track on our review for Gods of Violence is track number 9, Fallen Brother. And if you all watched the music video for Fallen Brother, you would know that it is a song dedicated to all of the metal musicians that were good friends with the band Kreator. Most notable members from such people such as Lemmy from Motorhead, Odorous Orungus from Gwar, Parthon from Bathory, Jeff Hanneman from Slayer, Cliff Burton from Metallica. All great friends of Kreator. Great friends and, you know, iconic metal heroes from the metal community. And a bunch of other people that the band Kreator grew to love, that were inspired by it, but were also good friends with. And it's a really heartfelt song. It almost makes me think of the song Golden Age off of their album Endorama. It makes me get that vibe off of Fallen Brother. It's just like with Hail to the Hordes. It's one of their slower songs in a way, but it's a pretty somber song when it's dedicating to all the great metal heroes that a lot of metalheads raise their glasses to. And I think it's a very good sentiment, and I think it's a very good tribute to all the fallen heroes of metal. So that's it. So in drawing conclusions, I think that Gods of Violence, of all the albums that I have listened to from Kreator, was probably one of their best work that they have brought out to the table. Gods of Violence gets a 10 out of 10 out of this review. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and as always, please support the band Kreator. Please go to your local For Your Entertainment stores. Please go online and please buy the album Gods of Violence. It is an absolute worth of your time to get. It is an absolute worth your time to listen to all the tracks of Gods of Violence, and please make sure to check them out on tour. They are an absolute powerhouse to be reckoned with, and probably one of the best thrash bands still around. Without further ado, ladies and gents, I'm Atticus, the Death Metaller. Hope you liked this video, subscribe to my channel, links are in the description below. Keep it metal, have a wonderful day.